All right, everyone. As we all start using AI more and more in our work, a couple of really big questions keep popping up. You know the ones. Who actually owns the stuff we make with it, and when do we have to say we used it? Today, we're going to get some real clarity on all of that.
Okay, let's just dive right in with the million-dollar question. You use an AI tool, you get this absolutely fantastic result for a client project, but who actually holds the rights to that? Is it you? Is it the company? The folks who made the AI? Well, the answer, it's complicated.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with that big ownership question, then wade into the legal gray areas. After that, we'll talk about why giving credit, attribution, is so important. Then we'll get super practical with a playbook you can actually use and wrap up with how to make all this a natural habit.
All right, first up, the ownership question. Before we get into any of the nitty-gritty, we really need to get a handle on the current state of play.
So here's the bottom line, and it's a big one. The law? It is totally playing catch-up right now. I mean, courts and governments are literally debating this stuff as we speak. But, and this is the key, while they figure all that out, our professional and ethical duties to our clients, to our audience, to our company, those are crystal clear. And that's the part we can control.
Okay, so that leads us right into Section 2. Let's talk about navigating these copyright gray areas. This is where things get really murky, mostly because our current copyright laws just weren't built for a world with generative AI. And that creates three really big questions we have to ask ourselves. First off, where did the AI learn to do what it does? You know, these models are trained on gigantic sets of data. A lot of it just scraped from the internet, and that data includes copyrighted stuff. The massive legal battle happening right now is all about whether that's fair use or if it's just plain old theft. This is being fought out in court right now.
Second, there's the whole issue of authorship. See, in a lot of places, including the US, you need a human being to be the author for something to get copyright protection. So if you just take what an AI spits out without adding your own significant creative touch, that work might not be copyrightable at all. It could just be out there, totally unprotected.
And third, what if the AI just accidentally rips something off? It's possible. It could generate an image that looks way too much like a famous photo, or write something that's a little too close to a copyrighted article. This is a huge risk, especially with what we call AI hallucinations, where the AI just confidently makes things up, like fake statistics or legal cases that don't exist. It might look original to you, but it could get you into some serious hot water. So with all these tricky spots and unknowns, the only responsible thing to do for any critical high-stakes work is pretty simple. Don't guess. Don't just hope for the best. You have to talk to legal counsel to figure this stuff out. It's about protecting the client, and it's about protecting us. So yeah, the legal side is a bit of a minefield right now. But that brings us to the next section, the mandate for attribution. Because while the lawyers are busy sorting all that out, there is one area where we have total control, and the path forward is perfectly clear. And that's our ethical duty to just be transparent.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? We disclose that we're using AI not just to cover our legal bases, but because the currency we trade in as professionals is trust. Being transparent is how we build and keep that trust. When you're open about your process, you build incredible credibility.
Think of it this way. If a client gets a brilliant report and they think a human expert spent, say, 40 hours on it, that creates a certain idea of its value. Now, what if it was 80% generated by an AI in 20 minutes? By not saying anything, you're creating a mismatch. Being upfront lets them accurately judge the work, respecting both the tech's power and, importantly, your expertise in guiding it.
Okay, this brings us to the most hands-on part of our chat, your practical playbook. We've talked about the why, so now let's get right into the how. I want you to walk away from this with a super simple, actionable guide for when and how to disclose AI use. This slide is basically your cheat sheet. Think of it like a quick risk check. If the AI was a real collaborator, a meaningful part of the creation process, or if the work is going out in a big public way, you disclose. If you just used it to check for typos or brainstorm a few ideas for yourself, you're probably fine. The key question to ask is, would a reasonable person feel misled if they found out AI was involved? And look, your disclosure doesn't need to be some big, complicated legal statement. It can be simple, direct, and honest. A straightforward line just like this, maybe at the bottom of a document or in an email, is usually all it takes.
Here's another great one.
I really like this example because it does two things at once. It's transparent about crediting the AI for the heavy lifting, but it also highlights your role as the human expert who checked it, edited it, and gave it the final stamp of approval. It signals quality control.
One last thing for the playbook, and this is really important. Don't forget where you're working. As a general rule, any work you do on company time with company tools, it belongs to the company. It's probably a good idea to check your employment agreement to be sure. And if you're ever unclear on any of this, the path is simple. Don't guess. Ask legal, ask HR.
Okay, we've got the legal background and a practical playbook. Now for the final section, making this stuff stick. The goal here is to make all of this second nature, so responsible AI use just becomes part of our team's DNA.
Here are 5 simple rules to live by. If the AI did a lot of the work, disclose it. If you're on the fence, just disclose it. It's always the safer and more honest option. Always follow company policy, gently nudge your colleagues to do the same, and if you ever spot a potential IP problem, raise your hand. This is how we build a culture we can all be proud of.
And I'll leave you with this last thought. We are standing at the very beginning of a huge shift in how we work and create. The habits and the standards we set right now around being transparent, giving credit, and being intellectually honest are going to shape the future of our entire profession. Let's make sure we're the ones who get it right from the start.